Okay, it seems like a lot of you really liked the first impressions video I made on my 2017 Civic EXT 6-speed. So we're going to do kind of a 1,000-mile update, and I'll go through some of the modifications I've made to the car and just how I like it so far. So we'll start off here in the front, and I have LED headlights and yellow fog lights on it right now. And so I'll go ahead and turn those on so we can see what they look like. Okay. They were on, but the timer timed out, so they went off. So as soon as they open up the door, they'll click back on. You can see they match the LED DRLs pretty well. They're a lot brighter and a lot wider than the stock halogen bulbs, so it really makes it a lot easier to see at night. And also, the cooling fans are pretty quiet on these. I actually got them from the retrofit source, and they seem to be a really high quality product. So you really only notice the cooling fans when the engine is off, the radio and the climate control are all off. So that's pretty much never. When I park the car at night and I get out, that's the only time I ever hear the cooling fans run. So that's really nice. Now I do have my winter tires on the car right now. The tires are Michelin X-Ice XI3s, and the wheels are from an Acura TL. I bought them on Craigslist and I painted them gray over the summer. So I think they look really nice on this car, and looks pretty aggressive, really. Now the tires are actually wider than the stock tires. They're 225/50R17s, and I didn't realize it till after I bought these wheels and painted them and all that, that these wheels are actually 8 inches wide, and I can't go narrower than a 225 tire without stretching the tire. So yes, they are bigger than the stock tires and wider, which isn't necessarily something you want in a winter tire, but I figure 10 millimeters is okay, and I think it really gives the car a more aggressive look with those wider tires, and the offset is actually different as well, so they kind of stick out just a little bit more. Looks really nice. It also gives plenty of clearance on the brakes, so I don't have to worry about that at all. Now I did just finish washing and waxing the car. It was raining here the last couple days, so it got really dirty and nasty looking, but it is really sharp now. Unfortunately it's cloudy, so you can't really see the shine and the sparkle in the paint, but it looks really sharp. I also added the turbo decals down here on the bottom. Those are Canadian spec, so gives it kind of a more sophisticated look, I suppose. And then around back, I did remove the Civic emblem, and I finally got all the adhesive off, so it looks much cleaner now. And I might black out the Honda emblem at some point too. Probably dip it black and then hit it with some glossifier. Now, some of the people on the Civic X forum have put exhaust tips on the bottom, but I haven't found any that I really like yet, so I'm just kind of holding off for right now. Then inside the car, I made a few upgrades. So the EXT from the factory does not have a leather-wrapped steering wheel or shift knob. You have to get either a sport hatchback or an EXL. And I prefer the cloth seats, and also with the leather seats, you can't get the manual transmission, and I just didn't really want to spend that much money. So I actually got the leather steering wheel from an EXL, and I had my shift knob from the Acura TL, which I got as a birthday gift for my Civic Si. So it gives you a much nicer feel when you're driving. Now there are a couple scratches on this plastic trim, so I'm unfortunately have to replace the whole wheel because the only way to get this plastic trim is to order the wheel. And that's exactly what I did in the first place, is I ordered the rim. So the only way to replace this trim is to get the rim again. So that kind of sucks, but I will be getting that replaced so it's not all scratched up. I don't know if you can see it very well in the camera. You can kind of see it on that side. Anyway, it's pretty scratched up, so I will be getting that replaced very soon as well. So I've got almost 1,300 miles in the car right now, and I really like it. It is such an awesome car, and the fuel economy is wonderful. So on trip A, I'm getting 32, which is okay. I reset that when I put my tires on. And then trip B is 37.2, and I reset that when I fill it with fuel. So it's not too bad. and I'm sure my winter tires are affecting the fuel economy a little bit, but it's not too bad. And as far as the interior goes, I obviously mentioned the shift knob and the steering wheel, but I also did some carbon fiber vinyl wrap here around the shifter, and I'm going to do it on the dashboard as well. It has that kind of brushed metal look, which is okay, but I'm not a huge fan of it. It just kind of looks purple in direct sunlight, so I'm going to wrap that with the carbon fiber as well. In the future, I really want to get an intake for this, probably sometime next year, late winter or like early spring. I'd really like to get a short ram intake, just to make that intake noise more noticeable in the turbo whistle and all that. And also, I really want to upgrade the tires on the stock wheels. They just don't have a lot of grip, the Firestones, so I really want to get something else. But those are some of my first impressions so far, and just a few things that I've done to the car. So here's another look around it. Definitely not as fast as my Accord, but I'm really surprised at how refined and how smooth it is. And it's just a wonderful car for the money. I love it. Wish it was a little faster, but I can't really complain too much. It's really pretty good. So there's another kind of look at my 17 Civic EXT 6-speed. If you have any questions about the car, feel free to drop a comment below.